So what if this is all true, right? I was out at a conference in California a couple weeks ago, and it's the Wall Street Journal does it every year. It's called Economics. So George Shultz was up there speaking, okay? So, you know, the Secretary of everything. I guess he was what? He was labor, he was state, and defense, right? I think it was defense. Anyway, he's got to be in his 90s, still sharp as a tack. But he brought up an interesting example. He went back to the Reagan days, and it was about CFCs, okay? We thought the ozone, remember the ozone layer, that whole thing? Some of you guys remember it, some others you don't. So there was a lot of science that said the ozone layer is going to be gone, we're all going to be cooked, we're all going to get skin cancer, crop failure, blah, blah, blah. Lots of science on both sides. And so Schultz described this conversation that they had, and Reagan was sitting there listening to his side of the aisle, a bunch of guys saying, it's BS, the science isn't there, we're not doing it. He said, you know what? He said, is there even the slightest possibility that it might be true? Can we concede that? It might be true. And so grudgingly, you know, some of the heads. And he said, well, why don't we just buy an insurance policy? Why wouldn't we buy an insurance policy if it could happen? What I thought about was compelling about that is many times we have these discussions, particularly when you open these discussions up to the broader public, we talk about carbon capture, sequestration, cap and trade. Nobody gets it. Only experts get it, and then maybe they get it. But when you talk about an insurance policy, doesn't everybody get that? I mean, do we all buy insurance? Yep. To do what? To protect ourselves and our kids. For what? For the obvious that's going to happen? Is my house going to burn down? Am I going to, you know, am I going to die of a heart attack tomorrow? Maybe not, but I might. I thought it was a compelling idea, the idea of insurance, and that, you know, as we also try to take whatever policies to the people, because it's so politicized, some simple thoughts like that. We're talking about insurance here. You know, if you had to tell everybody in the U.S. that they had to pay $500 a year to potentially protect their grandchildren from the type of calamities we're talking about, they might say, okay, I get it, it's insurance.